I want to show you the tie-in of the Heckham Peckham. It's a great sea trout fly for suing, as we call them in our part of the world. It's a great fly for night fishing. Invented by William Murdoch of Aberdeen, hundreds of years ago. The standout feature of this fly are the white tips on the wings. Can you see them? Now the wing is from the mallard duck speculum. I think that's what they call it. Butcher blues, we call them. But if you were tying a butcher, you wouldn't use the white. You'd use the bottom part, just to illustrate that. This is the mallard butcher blue. You can see where I've cut some off. See the blue sheen in it. And as you take off the feather, like this, you find that you keep working up, and eventually you'll come up to the top where that slip will have the white on, this here. So this is the feather we use. So when I've tied the butcher, and this is a standard butcher here, and the wing on the butcher we've used from down this part of the feather. As we get up the top, we don't throw the feather away, we tie the Heckham Peckham. Right, now the body specifies red seal's fur, which is, well, seal's fur, it's very difficult to get seal's fur today. So you can use floss, or you can use wool, as I do. I just use wool from a ball like this. Ball of knitting wool like this. I take one strand out and tie it. I think it's better than the floss silk. Floss silk holds pride of place in salmon flies, but in my opinion the hard outline of it is its greatest disadvantage. Wool, on the other hand, has a very slight buzz, furriness about it, which gives a bit of a translucent edge to the body. So anyhow, you'll see me tie this now. It's the Heckham Peckham. Right, the silk is black, and I'll just start the fly about there. We don't need to be too fussed about touching turns because it's a wool body. Get to about there, ready to put on the tail. And the tail is from the tippet, the golden pheasant tippet, the neck feather. So I tear a few of the edges off and we'll cut a piece out just like this. I hold it like that, cut a piece there, have a look at it. That should sort of be okay. Yeah, maybe a teeny bit short. I'll have a closer look at it. It should be alright. Right, so that's the tippet. Yeah, that looks okay. I'm pleased with that. Right, now that's the feather. The hook I'm using, by the way, is a good sea trout size hook. It's a Kamazambi 175 and it's a size 8. You can use smaller or larger. This is a good fly for trout. It's a good fly for sea trout. Okay, then we're going to put a rib. The rib I've got a bit left over from another fly. It's a silver braid, medium silver braid. So I just tie this in like this on the side. When you tie anything on the side, the silk wants to take it over, which is only natural. Right, and now the wool. Just red wool, any red wool you can get. Redder the better. So I tie that in like this. It's about that. And I wind it down, tie it down. want to keep this area here fairly level where the wings are going to be seated. Right, I wind the red wool body. Lovely fly this, very attractive fly. Don't see it used a lot, but it is a well-known fly and it's very popular in Scotland, I can assure you of that. Just going to make sure I've got that nice and flat there. I'll tie that off to secure it. Two turns will secure it. Enough for another fly there. And now I'm going to rib it. The wool body is nice and firm, so I can rib the same way. Don't need to worry about the windings, the rib windings getting lost. If it was seal's fur, you would consider counter winding. But we ain't got seal's fur. Incidentally, there's a very good substitute to seal's fur called SLF, synthetic living fibre, I think is the proper name. The abbreviation is SLF. It's marketed by Davy Wootton, Expert Fly Tire. Okay, now we're going to put on a beard hackle, and it's brown. Going to use a cock beard hackle, and I may put on more than one of these. In fact, I almost certainly will. Put it up underneath, do a pinch and loop up, like this. Do some more. Right, I'm going to nip these roots away. Bear with me. I know I'm blocking your view and I apologise for that. Okay, let's have a look at this beard hackle. I think that's okay. If you wanted to stand out a bit, you can put a wind underneath it, like that, if you wish. Okay, now we come to the wing, which is probably the important part. So this is what I was saying to you earlier. You can see where I've selected a little section there with the white tip, and I'm using opposing feathers. The tips are left and right, so they counteract each other. Bear with me, it can be a little bit fiddly doing this. One part. Number two. So I've got two of these. One there and one here. And I'm going to marry them up. Well, not marry them up, match up the tips. Get the tips lined up. It's a bit fiddly sometimes to do, but that's the two together. And I'll go to tie them on. pinch and loop, up, down, and fingers tight, and draw them down. And that's them on. That's it. Now I finish off everything, tie everything secure. And that's the Heckham Peckham. And I'm going to put on my usual whip finish. One, two, three. Give it four. It's a medium-sized fly. If it's a big one, I'd go 5. Small dry, I'd do 3. That's it. That's nice and tight. So now I'll nip the silk as usual, and I will put on the varnish. Hope you like that. Heckham Peckham fly I can recommend. Good for sea trout at night. Also good in the day, but sort of comes into its own at night. I'm going to try to clear the eye, bear with me. I don't think it's blocked, but always like to do that. Okay, that's the tie-in of the Heckham Peckham, well-known and very good sea trout fly, invented by William Murdoch of Aberdeen. Thanks for watching.